Hello, happy planners. It's Kim here from Memories in Time. It has been a very long time since you've heard my voice. My work schedule has gotten so crazy in the past month. In the last 3 weeks, I have been in 4 hotels, 4 states, been on 4 different airplanes, and have only been home in the last month 6 days. And so things have been incredibly insane. As a matter of fact, I was on the road in Kansas City, Missouri when the Teresa Be Happy box became available for order, and it was delivered. I was in a different part of my home state, Kentucky, and I am just now, today, September 8th, 2019, am just now able to actually open it, go through it, and start to play with it and have some fun with it. And so the very first thing I did after I oohed and awed over all the gorgeousness that was in that box, the first thing I did was take the tissue paper and I sort of smoothed it out, and this of course was one of the bottom pieces, and I laid my iPad down in, and the iPad that I have is the 9.76 generation. I just laid it down in there, and I just held onto it and took a craft knife and just made it, cut it a little bit larger. And this pad is clear, and I think it was just meant to be because I had ordered this iPad while I was traveling also. And then when it came in, I knew I needed a case. And so I just ran in Walmart, and I loved this sort of rosy gold. It's the magnetic case that will allow me to prop the iPad up. And the iPad that I ordered actually came with, I'm struggling. That's what it will do, but I wanted you to be able to see that. So the iPad that I ordered, the back is silver and the front is white, but it was a kit, and it came with this glass protector that was gold, and it has the wireless Bluetooth compatible keyboard and all the good stuff. So I had already put that on, but this was clear, and I wasn't really liking that this part was gold and the back was silver. So when I tore into this box and I saw this pink color, I knew this pink color matched this perfectly. Now, I will say I'm sort of struggling. The perfectionist in me is sort of struggling. When I laid this down and cut it, it is a tad bit off. Like when I look at this looks fairly even, like it's straight. This part right here is this part is a little uphill, but I'm gonna live with it. And the things that I used to help me do this once it was in the case, and if you notice, it's around the edges. It's around the edges, and I love that. I used my handy dandy micro tip close to my heart scissors. I used my fabulous EK Success Tools tweezers, and of course I could not have done it without my what I consider precision tip craft knife. And so what I did is I used the craft knife to just score the tissue paper, and then I used the tweezers to pull out like where the earbuds go if I use the jack earbuds. And then the power button also I took out, and I may have to clean that up just a little bit. I took out the area so I can still use the camera. And then I have the volume buttons there. I'm just double checking right now to make sure I didn't miss anything. And then this is the speakers down here and the place to charge and speakers. Again, I'm just feeling around to make sure I did not leave any space. And this, I can't really tell. I think I'm going to take that paper off right there, and you can actually see what I'm doing. I think that little bitty spot may be the flash for the camera. I've only used this iPad a time or two. Again, I ordered this while I was traveling as well. And there's an open spot there. Not really sure. You can see though how easy this was, and I did not layer the tissue. This was just one layer of tissue, but now I realize what may happen when I take this out. This will shift, the paper will shift, and so I do have some decoupage, and something that I may end up doing, because it will always match this case, I may pop the iPad out if I can do it without this paper tearing, and I may decoupage this to the inside so that it will be more permanent. It is not permanent now. If I pop this iPad out, chances are this paper may tear. But I think it matches perfectly. Matches perfectly, almost as if this were meant to be. So that was something fun I did for my iPad using this tissue paper. And then on this side, what I did on this side, and I'm still feeling there's just a spot or two there, and I'm just going to take my fingernail and just smooth it down. So what I did as far as the tissue that was sticking up a little, because I did have to trim, and I had to trim right here. You can see that I had to trim. All I did again was just use the craft knife to cut, and then just use the tweezers to pull it out. And all I'm basically doing with the paper is just scoring the paper, because I do not want to leave any permanent marks on the iPad. And what I did along these edges, and you can see there's a couple of spaces where it's a little long, is I just used the scissors and tried to put it in there and just pull it out. And so I really like how that turned out. So I did want to hop on. Hopefully I will be able to get back to some sort of normalcy. I've not decorated. I've not had time to decorate in planners. I've not had time to use my planners, and I missed them terribly. So I was super excited to be able to come on and at least say hello to all my favorite planner peeps and let you know what's been happening in my crazy world. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give me a thumbs up. I would love to hear from you. Happy planning!